I always say, we got enough soldiers, we got enough healers. And I recognize that most of the things that frustrate me really come from unhealed wounds we all carry as people. And that it's not my job to heal you as a person, but if I can identify what the problem is, I can heal the community, people around me, and help prevent that problem from recurring again in the first place. So all the things I do, I'm so vigilant in them. I'm so stand by them. But the art gallery just had cost $2,000, and I was dead broke because my mom has late stage cancer to be dealing with. I was doing my own medical debt from earlier this year. I don't make a lot of money in my job. I'm finished up my last semester in college, and Trump cut my Pell Grant, so I got to scramble to pay for school. At $2,000, I had to sell cookies every week to make that money happen. But I did it, and I sacrificed so much of my energy when I didn't have much energy to give, because to me, that was me putting all the anger, frustration I felt into healing a wound for my community and my people. And that's how I grieve, and that's how I process, and that's how I heal, and that's how I move forward, is by, healing a wound that I recognize. I never burn myself out by doing it, because to me, that's how I heal in the first place. If something pisses me the off, and I could either do two things, either shoot you, or I could build a really dope art piece explaining how I'm frustrated and make people feel something. And I kind of feel like life is better doing the second option. I come from the hood, I come from the ghetto. When I say I don't understand what it means. I grew up in neighborhoods that had higher murder rates and active US war zones. I've seen people die right in front of me. I've seen everything in the book. And I've just learned that, violence, even when it is justified, even when it's appropriate, if you always lead with the bad hand, sometimes it's difficult to actually heal the problem at stake. It's cyclical. There's a need for it sometimes, but continued violence is always cyclical. So this is my way to heal people instead, heal myself instead.
Scared rabbit, they've got you boxed in. Old habit, you draw the curtain. Lonely only if they ever leave.
Hello, my name is Michael Zarick, and in 1989, a man named Ray Oldenburg wrote a book called The Great Good Place. And in this book, he coined a term called the third place. This describes a place that is outside of your home and outside of your work, that you can go, build community, be together with other people, and just be. So I've made it my goal through my podcast, Third Space Indy, to find people all over Indianapolis who are doing their very best to build community here in town. The person I'm talking with today, I met a couple months ago at the local literacy fest called Proof, and they basically lit up my world. They are what I would describe as the opposite of an energy vampire. They are a constant giver of good energy to those around them. And this week has been very hard. There's been a lot of bad stuff happening. I don't know what day, it's like the 11th day of the year, and I would say all 11 days were filled with bad shit. And I went on a walk on one particular day and was just thinking, man, on Sunday, I get to talk to this person, and that brightens my day a little bit, because regardless of how I feel about current events, I know that having a moment to speak with Michael Keaun Brown will bring me a little bit of joy. So without further ado, it's Michael. Do you go by, I've only called you by your full, I've only called you, Keaun. I call you Michael Keaun Brown.
Yeah, you did.
No.
That was our first name. The opening was so sweet. Let's keep that in as it is. That was perfect.
Keaun Michael Brown. What am I doing?
That's me. Great question. I don't know. No, that means so much to me. Thank you. That's some kind of words. I'm Keaun Michael Brown.
I was I called you Michael. I was that is not right.
No, it's what my mom calls me when she's mad at me.
I'm go come beat your ass. Keaun is an incredible human, a writer, an artist, an art lover, and a community builder at Ujaama Bookstore. And so I'm really thankful that he's willing to sit down with me and just hang out and talk.
I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good. Weird start to the year.
Yeah.
Weird start to the year.
Are you a goal setter?
Huh?
Are you a goal setter?
Goal setter? Do I set goals for the year?
Are you got resolutions or anything like that?
No, not really. I don't really do resolutions anymore. I think it's kind of a weird way to be starting tomorrow, I'm gonna change my entire life forever. That's not really sustainable. Instead, I kind of do the new year as a progression of what already was and what will continue to be. You feel me? So it's it's not a hard set rule, but it's I was already kind of treat January like a 13th month. Does that make sense? It's an extension of the last year. What lessons was I already doing and I continue to do and keep expanding on those, keep growing. maybe move things a little bit further, but I'm not really going to be like, this year, no more pineapples. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really work. It's not sustainable.
That's funny. I do. This is actually a real recent issue, is that I do treat every year as its own individual thing. And that's why I've just had a total like lapse in productivity. So I was like, I don't have to worry about next year. That's a different part of time. And so like I texted you like the second day of the year, like, hey, do you want to record a podcast next week? It's like that was me reaching out to everybody. Like
so
I didn't
funny.
plan anything. And I do agree with your sentiment there, where it's like it is kind of good. I don't do goals that are like read 10 books or like lose 30 pounds. Like those are hard and fast rules that if you don't achieve them, you just feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
But I focus on like directions or like emotion-based goal setting.
I like that.
If that makes sense.
That's so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
sick.
So can you tell me, I don't know the title of your role at Ujaama. What is the title of your role?
Fascinating question. I don't know you. So when Terrell offered me the job, I had several different job offers in the nonprofit space because all the work I was doing. But like, even though Ujaama was paying me like 20 grand less to like my second lowest, it's real love, real community, real spaces of joy there. So I took it. And Terrell, my manager, when he offered me the job, he was like, Keaun, like, I just want you to be you, and for you to just like, I just want Keaun. Like, I don't care what specific role you got. I don't really care what specific you do. I just want the energy. I want the passion. I want all of that. And we're going to make that work. So in practice, I'm effectively like a community outreach coordinator. That's a basic way to describe it. But in official terms, my title is just like bookseller. But I just, I help plan the events. I host the events. I do like some literary programming. I do like a book club. I do like all the outreach. I do tabling. I do like a million other things that's not at all on my job description, just because that's what he wanted me to do. Mm-hmm. So,
well, we were just talking about off camera, and you're like, I pay to come to draft where we are.
Yeah.
And you're like, why don't I come here more? And you're like, it's because I'm working all the time. It's like and that just means like and Ujaama, for those who don't know, is can you tell?
Yes, I sure can. Peak game. Look at me right now. So Ujaama is part of Flair House. It's a nonprofit community-owned bookstore. It's part of Flair House, one of the oldest Black nonprofits in the state, for like 128 some years. I don't really know. Don't shoot me. But we're super dope. Black bookstore. Come by some time. Buy some books. Holla at your boy. Tight. If you haven't been in 2 months or 3 months, this is your personal reminder to come in recently. But yeah, it's a super dope space. We have a lot of Black history books, a lot of radical books, a lot of books about like, just like different stuff, unionizing, a lot of really cool like Latino history. This is a super dope spot. Pull up if you're able to. It's off 24th and MLK Boulevard.
Yeah. You have practiced that.
I'm not.
Oh, really?
I know.
I guess that's maybe what maybe caught my eye at proof, is like you just like throw it out there. Like you just are ready to go.
Yeah.
And Flanner House specifically is like this interesting like conclave of like family community center, bookstore, urban farm.
Yeah.
And then there's
Therapy.
What?
Therapy.
Yeah,
they offer therapy services.
I need to investigate this more.
Yeah.
Every time I learn how to. This is actually really what I wanted to get down to, is like when I first met you, I was like, this is a high energy, incredible person who just exudes energy. And then I went to your Paper Airplanes book club, where we read Where the Lemon Trees Grow.
As long as
the lemon tree grows.
Yeah,
it's in my backpack. I really. You would think I knew the title, considering I didn't read the book and I showed up the book club. And then I saw that you were calm and thoughtful and interested in learning about a variety of cultures. And then you and I have hung out a number of times. And every time I'm with you, I learn something new about you that is like, who is this person?
That means so much.
Yeah. Or like you've run like multiple like art. I don't even know what you call, like art shows.
Yeah.
And just like
Sorry,
you're just like doing,
sometimes.
and now you're trying to do more art shows, and you're trying to do more community outreach, and you're trying to do more for Ujaama, and you're always looking to seek how to do more. to have a positive effect on those around you.
Yeah.
And I think that is what immediately captured me about you, is that like you are so vigilant in your efforts.
I really appreciate
when things that seem like, I was actually talking with I got lunch with Rubo Marchut, who's the CEO of Indie Reads, and I was like, do you ever feel like
like a plastic bag
drifting through the wind? But like, do you ever feel like the work you're doing is not worth it when you look at the events that are happening around you? It's like, what am I doing? But to see you continue to work and have an effect on those around you, I think is really powerful.
I appreciate that. And it's very hard, to be honest with you. So I always say that like, well, first off, it's funny. I'm actually an introvert by nature. People just think that I'm very high energy and I'm super social, because when you see me, I'm on. And when I'm tired, I cannot be found. Like, I disappear out the woodworks. I got my headphones on, don't talk to me. I disappear like a ghost in the wind.
You dig like a small hole in the backyard.
Exactly. Yeah, like an ostrich. I disappear. But I always say that like all the social work that I do, all the outreach, all the art, all the writing, all the everything really comes from like a deep place of rage I feel in my soul. And I wish I was kidding. Like, I'm always pissed off about something. I am always like constantly angry about something deep down. If I wanted to, like, I could get angry right now talking to you about ICE or talking to you about this person who pissed me off 2 weeks ago because they did something that just really replicated how they haven't grown as a person. Like, I always have these things, these stories that make me upset.
Is there an individual behind that statement?
Honestly, no, not anything in particular, but I'm sure there's somebody, if I thought about it for 20 seconds, I could name you several. My point is that like, I'm surrounded by this frustration, all this anger, and I'm a very aggressive person in a way. I'm not, like, I'm a big softie. But I am like, I've learned over my life to actually use the anger and aggression I feel for good. And my saying I've told myself since I was like a teenager is like, for example, yeah, it pisses me off to see, let's say Paper Airplanes. Paper Airplanes started because I was sick and tired of seeing predominantly white people on my campus read like Caste or The New Jim Crow or like Runaway Slave or like Nat Turner. And they'll be like, oh my God, I understand black people now. I'm like, no, you don't. Or people will be like, Black Lives Matter, but I don't go south of 38th Street because it's too dangerous. Or Black Lives Matter, but I don't know what collard greens are, and also don't care to go look for a soul food spot. That's outside my comfort zone. And I feel like people will passively read books about Black culture and assume they know things and they actually haven't engaged in the culture at all. So maybe they were Airplanes. That pissed me off. I was very mad about it. It made me angry to see people act as if they've done a great thing when nothing's been done, and then actively restrain or refrain from using resources to help actively solve the problem. I did a lot of stuff on my campus, like upper admin side, and I saw stuff like that all of the time. And it made me very frustrated where they'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on guest speakers and book clubs, and then a student will be like, I have an idea to actually solve the problem that Black students are facing on campus. They'll be like, no, shut up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And Paper Airplanes came from that rage. It was that, like, I always say, we got enough soldiers, we got enough healers. And I recognize that most of the things that frustrate me really come from unhealed wounds we all carry as people. And that it's not my job to heal you as a person, but if I can identify what the problem is, I can heal the community of people around me and help prevent that problem from recurring again in the first place. So all the things I do, I'm so vigilant in them, I'm so like stand by them. But the art gallery I just had cost $2,000, and I was dead broke because my mom has late stage cancer to be dealing with. I was doing my own medical debt from earlier this year. I don't make a lot of money in my job. I finished up my last semester in college, and Trump cut my Pell Grant, so I got to scramble to pay for school. At $2,000, I had to sell cookies every week to make that money happen. But I did it, and I sacrificed so much of my energy when I didn't have much energy to give, because to me, that was me like putting all the anger, frustration I felt into healing a wound for my community and my people. And that's how I grieve, and that's how I process, and that's how I heal, and that's how I move forward, is by, you know, healing a wound that I recognize. I never burn myself out by doing it, because to me, like, that's how I heal in the first place. If something pisses me the fuck off, and I could either do two things, either shoot you, or I could build a really dope art piece explaining how I'm frustrated and make people feel something. And I kind of feel like life is better doing the second option. I come from the hood, I come from the ghetto. When I say I do not understand what it means. Like, I grew up in neighborhoods that have higher murder rates and active US war zones. I've seen people like die right in front of me. I've seen everything in the book. And I've just learned that, you know, violence, even when it is justified, even when it's appropriate, if you always lead with a bad hand, sometimes it's difficult to actually heal the problem at stake. It's cyclical. There's a need for it sometimes, but continued violence is always cyclical. So this is my way to heal people instead, heal myself instead.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of things that bring you rage, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
God
I'm
bless.
a black man in America. I'm an Afro-Latino Muslim in America with a disability. There's tons of things that bring me rage.
What brings you calm?
What brings me calm? Words. Honestly, like dirt and grime and like mom and pop shops and like music. I love like a rundown store. Like I love like authentic people, authentic stories, authentic genuineness. That's what brings me calm. I love storytelling. I love meeting people. I love hearing their stories. Like I said, I grew up in the hood. When you grow up in the hood, you oftentimes kind of get treated like a second-class identification of blackness. You know what I mean? I get treated all the time like I need to, from other black people even, that like that part of my identity holds no value, and I only will gain value if I'm able to move away from that. Like I can't say nigga, I can't have an accent to when I talk, I can't be too abrasive or too aggressive, or I'm just a big black man, I've done nothing wrong. So for me, you get old all the time when you're a kid, you come from that your stories don't matter. But I grew up around tons of dope stories and people that those stories have raised me. Those stories have helped shape me to the man I am today. Happy stories, sad stories, embarrassing stories, dangerous stories, tragic stories, horrifying stories, joyful stories. That brings me calm to see. So like people all the time talk about stuff. I'm not dissing any spot in the city. I mean, we're in Fountain Square right now, for instance. I love Draft, but people talk a lot about Fountain Square and Castleton and Broad Ripple and Sobro. And, you know, I don't think anyone talks about like the type of neighborhoods I live in and the type of neighborhoods I love to go to. I love just being back in the hood, going to my shops. Shout out Miss Letters and Jared Cafe up in the Ville. Shout out at Academy Costa off West Washington Street. Shout out at Tu Casa Cafe off 71st Street. They're valid. Spots like that are just filled with love and genuineness. And I know I don't need to be anything else, or I don't need to be more than myself in order to be valued in this space. That brings me calm, that brings me peace. Feels like for one of the few times in my life as a black man, I get to let down the walls and just be me and be loved all the same.
Banger.
Appreciate it.
You're a writer.
Yeah, I'm a writer. I write.
Every time I'm with you, you say, I'm working on, you go, I've been working on this for years. And then you just drop a bar.
Because it's never done.
What writing's on your mind right now?
Writing's on my mind right now is probably my poetry project. My first poetry chapbook is going to be out soon.
Wait, say that again. Poetry what?
So my first poetry chapbook. It's
cool.
it's like a mini book almost for poetry. Kind of like a zine, but a little bit like thicker.
Yeah, chunky.
It's called Sometimes I Think About You. And I'm really excited for it. I'm really nervous because I have a very unique writing style. I write how I talk, and I write just I don't write like traditional poet. And I actually hate most traditional poetry. It's just not really for me. And I kind of write in a different way, and I'm very nervous about that. Like people are gonna come up to me and be like, this is terrible because you didn't use this stupid metaphor or theory thing. You're bad. I don't give a shit if they do, but there's still this weird fear of like, you know what I mean? Like you're scared of just being vulnerable with your writing and being open. But I'm gonna do
Are you worried that some random dude is gonna pick your poetry book and be like, eh?
Yeah, kind of. But then it's that exactly. But then I also don't care if they do. So it's a weird thing where like I'm scared of the idea of somebody doing that, or somebody actually did it. I wouldn't really care too much. But the idea of somebody doing that is just really scary. I don't know why, but I'm gonna drop it. I'm very excited for it. It's a collection of stories of people I've met, of things I've seen, emotions I've felt. Like for example, there's some where it's one, for example, is called. So the whole project is called like Sometimes I Think About You. And some of the poems are like letters to people that I've met, or strangers I've seen, or people I've seen on the bus, or whatever. One of them, for example, is called To the Girl with the Curly Hair, and it's about a girl I met this one time, little girl, like 3 years old, and her grandma was with her, and her grandma was black, but her grandma looked like high yellow black, and the granddaughter looked like a little like white baby. I'm full white, blue eyes. She had like some green hair. I mean some red hair, but like full on white child. Because her nose and because the way her grandma was talking about, I could tell, oh, she's actually part black. And I wrote this like poem about her, thinking that like, you know, I forgot most of it, but I know it ends like, there's going to come a time when the world is going to make you choose, and you're never going to feel like you're enough, and you're going to have to deal with all these things, and people are going to like say you're stealing to someone's culture. You're like, but I grew up around this, and it's a part of you, and that's going to be your life. But for right now, that's just your grandmother, and you lay your head on her chest to feel the warmth. And like, I'm talking about stories like that I've seen, that there's so much value to stories like that. And they teach you so much, and you can learn so much from them. How to grow as a person, how to do all these things, how we judge someone based on their blackness, how we value someone based on their racial identity, all these things we can learn and take away from them. And I think stories like that are so valuable. We don't talk about them because we don't think we ourselves are worth enough to be remembered. So I love storytelling like that. Even though like I don't get paid for this, even though there's no grants out here for this type of work, even though there's no, you just got to get out of the mud. I be selling cookies and doing shallow bake sales to get the money to make these stories happen. But stories like that really fucking matter to me. So I like try to tell them how I can. That's gonna be the poetry book. Very excited.
Yeah. You've lived in a lot of places.
I have. I moved a lot as a kid.
Where have you lived?
Okay,
List them off.
Okay, get ready. I've lived in 6 different states. Long term. Indiana, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Delaware, New Jersey. For the most part, really only 3 of those matter. And that's Indy, for like, I've been there for over a year, and that's Indy, Jersey, North Carolina. Comparatively, I was actually in Jersey for a lesser part of time than it was for North Carolina, Indy. But for some reason, Jersey just really stuck to me, like in my genome. Maybe it's because I started school there and then left and came back for high school for a bit. So those are really pivotal years in my life. It's kind of where the accent kind of stuck. When I'm comfortable with talking like this, if I wanted to like switch up and be normal, I can. But this is like weird and uncomfortable for me. So I'm still back talking like a nigga. But yeah, so I moved a lot. I went to like 13, 14 different schools at some point, my mom's job, and then life stuff happened. Yeah, it was definitely very hard.
Do you have friends from, sorry.
Do I have friends full stop? No, actually.
Do you have friends from like.
This jar of water is all I got. It's my only love.
Like from grade school or any, like, because if you go to 13 schools, that's more schools than there are grades.
That is correct, yes. Yes, I do, but not from like, not really anything not really anything in middle school. Well, I got one friend still from 8th grade, and that's it. Most of my friends kind of came from like, I'll stop talking to her. I got one friend from freshman year, or 2 friends from freshman year, and a couple friends from Jersey still, and like 1 or 2 friends from high school. But yeah, I moved a lot. It was hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was very hard. But in a way, it kind of helped me because I was born deaf. Fun fact
for
about
real?
me. Yeah, like dead.
I'm telling you, every time we talk.
I live a weird life, man. I'm a weird dude. I was born deaf. I went to the Indiana School of Deaf for a couple of weeks. They told my mom, this is a crazy story. I actually need to prepare for this. It's crazy. So I was born deaf. Doctors and my mom, he's not gonna be able to speak. He's cooked. It's over. Teachers do ASL. It's wraps. And the nurse followed my mom out to the lobby after the appointment. And she was like, I'm overstepping. I could lose my job, my license for doing this. But I think the doctor's wrong. Can you bring your son to me like once a week? I have a crazy idea I think might work. And this nurse, I don't remember her name, nothing about her, but it changed my whole life. Met up with my mom once a week, try out a new speech therapy thing she was kind of working on. Did that for about 6 months. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, towards the end of it, I started to be able to process sounds just a little bit. And that was enough for them to warrant me to go to speech therapy. And that was enough for me to be able to start regular school on time. It was still difficult. Like I was in ESL my first year of grade school because I couldn't speak English really. And it was very hard. And for me, the biggest thing was I thought I could hear fine, like because deaf is a spectrum and I could still hear sounds. I thought I was hearing fine. So like I would hear people like, you know, like water was like, ugh, and you'd be like, ugh, and I'd be like, oh, that's what you're saying. It's like, ugh. And you would look at me like, what are you saying? I'm like, I'm repeating the same words you're saying to me right now. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? It's because I was deaf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got disability.
It is funny, like words are just
sounds.
Are random sounds.
Yes.
So if you hear it a certain way, like
you just assume that's just the word for that thing.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my childhood. So I had an IEP and a 504 my entire time in grade school until I graduated. I got disability checks from the government until like March of last year. It's a big miracle and a blessing. This one speech therapist told me that like she has never met a single child in her entire, she didn't believe me. I told her I was deaf at first. And I started saying terminology you only know that like if you were in speech therapy for a while. She was like, I've never my entire life ever known a child with your condition who could speak clearly. I still have a listen, a bit of a stutter, but she was like, but can speak relatively unimpeded. She was like, I don't think you understand. That's not just a blessing. That's a miracle. You need to pick a God and pray tonight. And I was like, yeah.
How old are you when this person told you?
I was just turned 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not still deaf?
Not really. No,
Yeah.
I'm like, I think when they did the test, I'm like 80% natural capacity.
Okay.
So they actually took my ear tubes out first time like a couple months ago. But I can pretty much live a normal life. My like headphones are a little bit louder, TV's a little bit louder, but other than that, I'm fine. It's a crazy story, a massive privilege. But yeah, I was deaf for a bit. Shit was crazy.
Yeah, so you're like the neighbor that like has the TV up really loud late at night.
Yeah. That
And
actually
you're like,
still is
why is
me.
this guy such an asshole? And you're like, I actually can't hear.
That is still me. Again, I'm totally fine in like most areas of life. My headphones are always on max, and I wish they were louder. I'm like, why are they not louder? And my phone is like max audio warning.
So my uncle has a hearing aid. He's not that old.
They tried to give me one of those, and I refused.
My uncle has a hearing aid, and he's like, Michael, it's incredible. He's like, when I want to listen to music, it's connected to my phone. It just goes straight to my ear. I can answer my phone from the hearing aid. He goes, and when I don't want to hear someone,
You can.
turn them down.
Just so, I really wish they were like that advanced when I was a kid. Oh, sorry, that's the thumb.
Is that a
Sorry,
ringtone?
I'm a muzzy. What's up?
Or is that your prayer?
No, that's the call to prayer. Yeah, I'll pray. after
Do you
this.
regularly?
Huh?
Are you practicing?
Yeah. I taught in Islamic Sunday school for like a year and a half.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm like muzzy as can be. But yeah, so I wish they were more like normalized when I was a kid, because they told me to get a hearing aid. I was like so terrified of being a different kid. I like refused. I like kind of sabotage. Like I would skip out on the ASL lessons. I was scared of being different. I would like try to act normal. It's kind of why I do my disability so like secondary now, because I kind of spent my whole life trying to like act normal, that I've just kind of like subconsciously believe the lie, even though I know I'm not. I know there's things I gotta do to help prevent it. But if hearing aids were as like bases were back then, I would have been like, please. They sound awesome. Like my friend has a hearing aid, and she like put one in one room, that way she could hear what was going on, and left to go to another. And I was like, that's awesome.
That's like spy shit.
Yeah, that's sick as hell. I wish I knew that. I wish you could do that. I would have been like, please.
That's
I'll take 3 of them.
What's the most minor interaction you've had with someone that's had the biggest effect on you? I don't know. That just popped in my head.
You say minor, how minor? Because I have one.
I don't know.
Okay.
One time, so my brother used to live in San Francisco, and San Francisco is very touristy. There's a lot of touristy stuff to do. So we went to like so it's hilly, and then on top of one of the hills, there's that famous like tower. I don't know what any of this stuff is called, but I just remember just like randomly talking to a guy just like in the tower, and my brother was like, "You shouldn't talk to random people." I was like, "Why not? Like, whatever. You're just a dude." I think that like that small interaction just like was like, why do people just like not talk to other people? You know, what's the smallest interaction or minor thing that just like has a long-term effect on you?
I have a billion of them. That's kind of how my life is, off of these tiny interactions. I take less and small of them. My mama, when I was a kid, she would also always say like, Keaun, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm sorry. But I'm sorry there's things I can't teach you. I'm sorry there's things I can't do for you. I'm sorry that life is hard. We're poor. She was like, but I need you to learn from my mistakes. I need you to soak up all the wisdom around you. She's always said, there's wisdom all around you. Please soak it in. You say it so much, you just get annoyed by it. But it really did change my whole life, my whole view of life. So every minor interaction like that, I always keep back in my mind. It teaches me things for life. But if I could think of one that comes to my mind, there was this, I was in Ghana, right, on a study abroad scholarship. The professor paid for my whole trip.
That's pretty recent, right?
It was in 2023, so
Yeah,
about 2.5, 3 years ago. Professor paid for the whole trip. Alhamdulillah, I couldn't afford it anyways. It was like 5.5 bands. He paid for it. It was really dope. When I was there, this one like plaza, bazaar, market thing with Jig, I was buying this painting. And I was talking to this one like woman there, making small talk. And I didn't really feel like talking, but I was like, I'm gonna talk. Because I'm in Ghana. It's a privilege to be here. If you're gonna talk to me, it's the least I can do is like reciprocate that. And we were talking just very minor small talk. And then she was like, oh, why are you here? And it was very obvious I'm an American. I was like, oh, I'm here on a school trip. You know, I have ancestral roots in Ghana like every other Black American does. And I was like, so we're here to like do a thing. She was like, oh, that's really cool. She was like, where are you from? Usually people ask me where I'm from when I'm outside the US, I lie. I say, I'm from New York City. I used to live in Jersey. They'll understand that more. It's easier for all of us involved. For some reason, I was just like, tell the truth. I did. I said, I'm from Indiana. She goes, oh, so you got IUPUI. And I was like, what the fuck?
Just like pulled it out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
without hesitation. This random, she was from Benin, but she was from Cameroon. This random Cameroonian old woman in this rural market in Ghana just clocked my shit immediately without hesitation. And I was like, I didn't know what that is. And she was like, this random woman I was just talking to, who I didn't think nothing of, because like I was ready to go. Turns out she was a doctor. She is a doctor. And she moved from Cameroon to the US in Chicago, and then Gary for medicine, and then to Indianapolis. And then her 2 kids went to Bloomington, other 2 kids went to IUPUI. And she's only in this random town in Ghana because her old childhood friend's auntie her son's getting married. So because of that, she's there for the wedding that's happening tomorrow. And she just happened, I was like, this is crazy. And I told her my day name in Ghana, which is Kofi. I told her my name is Keaun, but the day name in Ghana is Kofi. And then this other painting I really wanted to see. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I didn't see that painting, but I have no more cash. So the rest of my cash is in my luggage, so I couldn't afford a painting at the time. She goes, do you want that painting? I was like, yeah, I do, but I can't afford it. She was like, it's not what I asked. I actually want the painting. I was like, yeah, it's really sick. She goes, done. And she bought the painting for me. And it was super beautiful and super cool. And she said, and I quote, never forget this quote. And this is all like a 3-minute interaction. She was just like, I'm not gonna do the accent, but she was just, I was racist. But she was just like, Keaun or Kofi, before you go, not even the moon. She said, not even the sky is the limit for you, my son. People go to the moon every day. I think about that. Every time I look at the painting she got me on my wall, I think about that.
That's a banger.
It is a banger. And then it was so funny when I was in the airport leaving, again, different part of the country entirely. I hear Kofi. I turn around, it's her. And I was like, yo, what? And I gave her a hug and I never saw her ever again. And the interaction, yeah, it's a long-winded story, but that all happened in this span of like combine or both of our interactions, 5 minutes. And it was the little thing where you keep talking to somebody a little bit more, even when you're tired, just because you get good energy from them and you do so. And it opens up an impossibly large amount of doors. If you want a real minor story,
was a real.
Oh, okay, bad. Okay, bad. I don't know if it was too long. I don't know if it was too long.
No, man.
I just have a lot of those. I remember one time when I was in the DR, seeing in this little town called Gaspar Haram, there's this little mountainside town. And my Spanish at the time was bad. My Spanish is still not great. I'm working on it. But I was there by myself. No one in the town speaks English. It's do or die, survival time. Speaking Spanish in the DR is very different than speaking Spanish here in the US. Mm-hmm. And I was walking across this road and this car was like swerving. And I was fine. But then the lady at the store who I was buying snacks from for breakfast was like, hey, like, tell me in Spanish, like, yo, I couldn't really understand. She started miming it out, telling me like being careful because if you walk through there, cars like that time you were fine, but cars come flying up there. I don't want you to get hit. And she like walked out in like tight shorts and like a crop top. It was morning, just berate me, but like with love of like, be safe, you stupid idiot. But it was so like familial and loving, and literally a 15-second interaction. She treated me like I was her own son. And I was just so impossibly kind. I have millions of stories like that every day that I live my life with that I love a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think about like, there's an inconceivable amount of individual stories that people have. Like, That's why I love the bus, actually, because like sometimes you just like randomly talk to someone on the bus and they just like randomly tell you about their day, or like you get a little glimpse into like how they're feeling about something and stuff. Exactly. And there's just like an inconceivable amount of that on Earth. And I think when you, not to like tie it into like politics or whatever, but like when you look at like a homeless person on the street, it's like that person has as many stories as you and I do.
Exactly. And that's literally what shaped my entire life. My mom told me that when I was very young. One time when we were in Kroger, this brother was coming out with these roses. He was like, Keaun, I wonder if those are I'm sorry flowers or I love you flowers. Mom, what are you talking about? And my mom's autism. She was like, Keaun, every person has so much depth to them and they have their own worlds in their mind. I just wonder, And I think about that all the time. Every single person. I live my life with 2 main rules. Every person is the exact same amount of power. Every person is the exact same amount of stories. And what this means is that, like, for example, I think everyone has the exact same amount of power. I don't care if you're a CEO, a billionaire, a drug lord, a kingpin. We all bleed. If a homeless man, if I really, really wanted to kill you, hypothetically, there's nothing you can really stop me from doing to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to like be outside your crib at 2 a.m. in the morning or stalk your schedule, I could do that. If I really wanted to devote my entire world to doing that, I can do it because I'm a rational person. But the point is that everyone has the exact same amount of power, so everyone has the exact same amount of respect. Other thing is that we all have the exact same amount of worth in our stories. Like I've met prostitutes, thieves, hood niggas, kingpins, CEOs, billionaires. I've met not billionaires, millionaires, sorry, millionaires, everything across the rainbow. And they all have beautiful stories. Some of the best stories I've known are from people who usually are down the cut from society because they really just want someone to listen and kind of be seen as a full person. There's this one lady, this is a really cool story if you don't mind. I was walking, this is up in Hallville. Hey, shout out to Ville. I was walking and off Michigan, where my apartment was at the time. I think I was 18 at the time, sophomore year of college. And this lady comes up to me. I don't have my glasses on. That's very important for the story. Lady comes up to me, and I think they were broken. And she goes like, hey, whatever, I'm going to do something. Can you like buy me a phone? She was like, my daughter's in the hospital surviving a heart attack. I need money for a phone. It was some bullshit. And I was just like, I'm a hood nigga. Like I know a lie when I see one. And I was about to just berate her and yell at her and make fun of her and curse at her just because I could, almost, honestly. Just because like I was like, I have the power dynamic here. I could tell you fucking like, man, you're not gonna get me with that bullshit. I'll do better next time. Just because I could. And same way of like if you see a grifter, you're gonna be like, dude, shut the fuck up. And I was gonna do that just because I could. And I stopped. I listened to her partly out of amusement. So I was like, I would see how deep of a hole you would have dig. And when I looked into her eyes, sometimes I just get a vibe and a feeling. And the vibe just told me, first off, hold your tongue, fuck nigga. And second off, like, keep going. And I was like, so you really just need a phone? She's like, I just need money for a phone. And I was like, it'll tell me that right there. I'll walk in and buy you a phone right now. It's not a big deal. She said, oh my God, that's perfect. Thank you so much. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, okay. I was dead broke. I was a college kid. I had no money. I had to do this on my credit card. And I walked into the store. She looked at the phones, was super excited. I got her a phone. I got her minutes activated. I was like, oh, person just really need a phone. And I was like, this person wasn't lying. And then she goes, okay, great. Now I'm going back to Riley. And I was like, oh. I was like, I'll walk you back. You can do it by yourself. And I walked her back. She stopped at the gas station first and got some cigarettes. And then I walked her back to Riley Children's Hospital, and she was just telling me all the stories from her life and what her position was right now. She was homeless because the Ronald McDonald house was full, and she was like sleeping in the hospital, and they kicked her out. She was sleeping on the bridge at the time because her daughter, she just gave birth to a daughter, was in the, her daughter had heart problems when she was born, and she was staying at Riley long term. And they didn't have any place to keep the mother, and the mother couldn't stay with the child. It was weird for some reason. They wouldn't bed the mother with the child because they were, I don't know. And it was just a crazy situation. She's telling me about how her dad died recently, as much as where to go, and everything's confusing. And just really beautiful, complex story. And then we get to the hospital. And at this point, I've already realized this is all real. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I'm very glad I ran into this person. She goes like, and I was like, out of curiosity, why'd you like, no, she said something. She said, yeah, thank you so much. I knew you just looked safe. And I was like, what? Because back in the day when I was like 19, I got a picture for you. I was told at the time I looked too ghetto, too hood, especially with my glasses on. Like I literally even told my manager at the time of the job I was working at, didn't see my glasses on one time and thought I was trying to rob the place. I was like, this is insanely racist. But you know, yeah, it was weird. This is like me when I was around.
You used to carry around a photo? Oh, okay.
No, it's my ID.
Oh. you look completely different.
Yeah, Gates way.
Okay, we went out for New Year's to the Vogue, and we were with some friends. Valentin and his friend, I do not know their name, but they're both Latino, and they were like taking photos together, and they're just like sitting there, like they wouldn't smile. They're like, we're like, why you like smile? Like you're having a good time. They're like, no, we gotta look hard. Yeah. I'm like, that's what I think of when I see that
gotta
photo.
Look tough for the fit. But yeah, I walk her into Riley. She tells me like and I was like, that's funny you said that. I always get told all the time I look dangerous, I look threatening, all that. She goes, no, not at all. She's like, I could tell by your eyes you were safe. And I walk into Riley, and I'm like, Miss, hold on one second. There's an ATM right there in the vending machine. I got her a pack of peanut M&Ms because she said that was her favorite. And I got her, I think I only had like $100 for me. I put her $70, whatever. I put her like $60 out. I said, here's this. That's all I got. I got to the end and she gave me a big hug and cried and offered me to like walk up and go see her daughter. And I was like, thank you, but like I need to go to class. So I was going to class.
Like,
and I felt like at that point that like I don't know. I feel like at that point like I was overstepping if I did so. I taken advantage of a person, and I left, and this nurse stopped me, and she was like, "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you did, but I know you just changed the woman's life." And she also gave me a big hug. And I left, and I just went to class, and I was a homeless woman, for all intents and purposes, who was begging me for money. That's how it started, and that's how I ended this beautiful story of this woman who was down on her luck and just was. Her father died, had no other family support, just gave birth. Like father's on the picture. Ron went down, the house is full. They might have an opening next week, but until then, she's SOL. There's no support system there to really help her take care of her child who's in the hospital in the ICU for a heart condition. That's a beautiful story I would have never heard if I dismissed her because she was poor.
And you thought she was lying.
I did 100% thought she was lying. 100%. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was holier than thou. I thought she was capping her ass off because it's just the story sounded too fake to be. It sounded too insane to be true. But I was just like, my hood nigga senses aren't tingling. Why are they not tingling? Why do I feel like she's telling the truth?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? If you really tell the truth, I'll buy you a phone right now. She was like, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, huh. Yeah. It was, like one of those lessons I learned when I was 18 of just reaffirming like kind of my worldviews now, just people where they're at. I come from the hood. There's so many lies, so many stories. And not a lot of people will lie to your face about random crap. But sometimes you can just see in somebody's soul that they're a good person. And they just need a little bit of help. It's not up to me to dictate who that person is and if their soul is good or not. It's not my job, that's God's. But that's why like I give, my quote is I give what I have, not what I'm willing to lose. So after I'm good and I'm taken care of, whatever I have left over, even if it's not much, I give what I have. And if I give a homeless person money, I don't care what they use it on. I don't care if you go buy drugs and go get a hit. If that's what needs to help you out, I don't give a shit. It's your money to deal with now. I don't care if you need to buy, if you want, like, I don't care what you do with it. It's yours. And it's not my job to be a judge of you. And that's the way she kind of told me that. She didn't need to tell me her whole story in order for her to be deserving of help. But she did, and it showed my own bias in that moment and how I need to grow as a person. I did. A lot of stories like that in my life. In the hood. So people talk about the hood not being nothing of value. I'm like, hey, yo, isn't that a crazy story? Viewer, right now, isn't that a crazy story? I would never had that if I was living up in the Ville. These places matter to me for a reason, and the people that matter to me for a reason. So I fight so hard now for it. I get told every day in college, man, I'm to this, I'm to that, this ain't how it be, whatever. But it's like, I know my people, I know their struggle, I know their stories are worthy of being told. Mm. Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No, you're the guest. I've been told that it's better when the guest talks more. I've been talking too much. And I'm out of practice. I have canned questions. That's what I call them.
Hit me.
First of all,
have you drunk out of this water?
No.
I'm stealing it. This is a prop, but I'm stealing it now.
Sorry, I'm sponsored. Hey, Third Space Indy is sponsored by cityrising.org.
You have sponsors?
I have one sponsor, but yeah. Yeah, well, if you want to sponsor, you can do it too.
This could be you right here.
This could be you. Mark Latta, founder of City Rising, has sponsored the podcast. City Rising is a social impact studio that leads and supports innovative projects that strengthen, celebrate, and repair people and places. So if you're a people, or you're the leader of a place or an organization that is interested in improving your lived or built environment, reach out to me or reach out to cityrising.org, and we'll get you hooked up with stuff that improves those things.
100% do.
W. But Mark Latta has sponsored a podcast, or sponsored a question on the podcast.
Ooh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you and your sacrifice.
Truly a sacrifice.
I don't know why I said sacrifice, honestly. I should have just said help.
What is a third space to you?
The third space to me is a place, kind of how I alluded to earlier, is somewhere where I don't need to be anything more than I am to be valued. I think that's why I love the hood so much and why I take so much refuge in there. And again, I'm not throwing shade at any part of the city, but if you throw me in like a coffee shop in, for example, Fountain Square, I'm not really going to feel comfortable. It's not going to feel like a third place. It's not going to feel like a third space to me. It's gonna feel like someone somewhere is gonna tell me I don't belong, or I don't matter, or I'm not, or I'm too poor to be here, or I don't fit the vibe or the aesthetic, and I'm not supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Even if I am, it just feels like I'm not, because of how I've been conditioned my whole life by society. But to me, a third space is a spot where I can go in as I am, however I am that day, and still be deserving of love. I think that's why I love Third Cafe. I think that's why I love Michael Zarick Cafe so much. I think that's why I love Wasegwe Pagwam, the Indonesian spot. I think that's why I love like all little taco shops and hole in the walls and places that got like half a burnt down building. And there's like a dog outside, this little feral, and there's like a rabid pigeon somewhere. I think that's why I love these places so much, because they reaffirm to me that I don't need to be anything else but who I am in order to be loved. That's where I feel the most comfortable. That's if I can get work done. That's if I can really unwind. I can put down all the pressures of the world away, because right now in this space, I am loved. I go back outside, the world's gonna be waiting for me. Anything can happen. I'm on the streets. A cop can pull me over. ICE can shoot me in the face. Crazy. Anything can happen and ruin my entire life. But right here in this moment, I am loved as I am. I need to prove myself to nobody because I'm already deserving of love. That to me feels like a third space. A third space to me is not just having a place to go outside of work, inside of home. A third space is to have a place to go, not just where you feel valued, but where your presence feels missed.
Ooh. Thank you for that answer. That's really good. Also, you mentioned pigeons. Sorry, total pivot.
But in fact, pigeons are doves, the same bird.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was going to bring this up. So pigeons, I read a tweet or something that was like we look at pigeons like rats.
We do.
But historically, pigeons are like servants to humanity. These are like partnership animals.
Yes.
They were our messengers.
Yes.
They were pets. They were this like beautiful creature that we used to love and care for.
Yes.
And now we've just like
We hate them.
cordoned them off to like effectively, again, be rats. Like we
Yes.
look down upon them. And I think that's like, I really think about that.
It's also wild. And again, they're doves. They're the exact same bird.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know.
They're the exact same bird. It's the same way how dogs are dogs. A pigeon and a dove are the exact same bird. The only difference is that pigeons have evolved to live in like industrial areas and doves live in the countryside. And we love doves. We think they're pious. We think they're perfect because they're like, it's kind of bird racism. We hate pigeons.
Because they're gray.
Yeah. And I also look at a pigeon and I'm conditioned to think that's gross. And it's why do I think that? That's really interesting. So like, shout out birds, shout out pigeons, shout out doves. We all need to come together and
Shout out birds.
Shout out birds.
I watched a TikTok this morning that was like,
Shout out Three Birds Cafe, I think it's called. Four Birds Cafe?
where is that?
I don't know. It's a cafe that has birds in the title.
Oh, that's
They
funny.
should sponsor an episode of the pod.
I watched like a TikTok this morning. It was just like different birds in their bird calls. And I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a variety and like, they're all so interesting.
Eagle Creek Park does bird watching.
Yeah, but you got to get up early for that.
Another shameless plug. You guys are missing out on an amazing advertisement opportunity. This could be you. No more free promos.
Not an ad platform, but it could be. What if my entire podcast was just ads?
No more guests. We're only corporate shows.
Yeah.
We're interviewing Jeff Bezos this week.
Oh, follow up to the previous question. What is a third place that has existed for you previously that no longer does?
Oh man, there's too many to count. Instead of giving you specific examples, I'm gonna tell you a city. I alluded to earlier that I mainly grew up in 3 different states: Charlotte, North Carolina, Indianapolis, and New Jersey. I make an active effort to never go back to Charlotte. And it's because, and it sucks, I have memories in that city. Almost every single neighborhood that I went to as a kid is gone. Completely gone. I mean, like businesses that were there for 60 to 70 years, historic sites, all gone. All gone. They are breweries, they are expensive apartments nobody can afford. They are like, Charlotte is not built for people who don't live in Charlotte to come move to Charlotte, not for people who actually lived there. And it pains me in my soul to go there now. I have not been back since, I only went for a few days ago when I was going somewhere else in 2024, I think. And before that, it's been like 3-4 years. I made an active effort to not go to Charlotte anymore. And that to me is like, I can give you a specific business example, but I think that hits way more close to home. Like, I mean, entire blocks, entire neighborhoods, whole everything I know. The old ice cream shop in my school that was there since the 1950s, gone. The famous taco shop that was on a bunch of TV shows, a small little hole in the wall everyone loved, gone. The old park I used to go to after school, gone. The old apartment my family used to live in, gone. The old house we used to live in, gone. All the old businesses off Plaza Road, gone. Everything in Plaza Midwood, gone. Sugar Creek now is super expensive. The old mall is gone. The transit center they relocated to, like, everything I love and knew is disappeared. And that's what that's why I fight so hard for Indy, why I feel something happen here. Because it's already happening here. But I never want it to be as bad as it was with Charlotte. Charlotte, I think, is an example of how cities like Indianapolis is trying to do, the stupid politicians here, trying to make Indianapolis be like Chicago, trying to make Indianapolis be like a larger city than what we actually are because of the illusion that the more money will bring more good. And I think that's a horrible way to city planning. The good way to city plan is to plan for people who actually already live here. And then you plan on estimate growth. Instead, what we do is we put $500 million in tax-sharing money in a hotel that me or you will never be able to afford or stay in. And that is not for people of the city at all. All it does is make us another Charlotte. The only people who can afford this city is people who don't live here already. And I can't let that happen.
Thank you for sharing.
When I say I'm always enraged, it's because there's stories like that in my soul at all times.
Yeah. I'm like mixed on the hotel.
I hate it.
Is that weird?
No,
like,
I mean, it's totally cool if you support it. Like,
yeah.
I don't
It's not like, no, it's not even like support. It's like, to me, it's like a symbol of like, Indianapolis is still worth something. Like, it's like, oh, people see worth here and they want to invest in it. At the same time, I'm like, there's so many other things that you could put this money to.
Yeah, I hate it so much because I think it's a symbol of how people invest in the wrong things in the city. People don't think Indianapolis is worth investing in because we, again, don't have the typical, we're not Chicago, we're not Charlotte, we're not St. Louis. I don't know why we keep trying to feign the whole act of it. But like, imagine if we hyper-fixated on a niche in the city. Indianapolis is some of the dopest artists I've ever seen in my entire life. What if we took, it's an idea I've had for so long. If I ever get political power, I'm doing this shit day one. What if we had a program in this city where instead of us only commissioning artists when we need something from them, we had artists full-time on payroll, give them $60K a year with benefits, and we say your whole job is to make art for the city of Indianapolis. And everywhere you hire 20 of them, it's not even that much money, it's like $1.2 million. Yeah. And now you have artists everywhere. Indianapolis would be a place we wanted to go if there was art everywhere. Be like, oh my God, check out this really cool thing I went to. If we had festivals themed around the city, you can use that money to give this place an identity. Instead of honing in on that, push what we already have, we hire artists who are outside of the city because they have status and allure. We lose people who are in the city who have good progress and know what they're doing because they don't fit the bill enough, because they don't have the right criteria, because they don't have the right stats, they don't have the right on paper, look whatever the hell we want. We try to keep feeding the allure of status and the mirage of success that nothing actually gets done. Mm-hmm. No basketball player, that hotel is not going to change the basketball player's mind from going to LA versus going to Indianapolis. And I think that if we just put enough of them, they will. Does it matter? What does that person bring to the city? Realistically speaking, taxes. They usually don't live in Indy anyway. People live in the burbs. Okay, well maybe with some of their money, you'll get more money if you invest in people of this city and they're doing better than if you have to do something else entirely. It's like in hospitals where they won't pay nurses what they're worth. Shout out nurses. Instead they hire travel nurses at like 1.5 times the price and or double. They're like, this is a great solution to the problem. No, nigga, you're actively, outside of all my emotions, you're actively making bad business decisions. This is stupid and dumb and you should feel bad for yourself. You are bad at your job. And like, you should not have a job anymore. It's crazy to me that because you're just old, you could be 6 years old and be, I have experience, therefore I should be the mayor. Okay, you're still bad at your job. These things are not done. Instead, we're just actively, let me stop. Let me stop, I'm bad.
I believe Ireland, sorry, I'm bouncing off what you said. I wish I could match your energy.
No,
I
sorry.
Apologize. In Ireland, they have like a paid artist program. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
And I believe they have done the calculations, and if you're interested in obviously
that up.
fiscal improvement, which a lot of people are, every dollar or whatever gives back like $1.50 or $3.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's just like, I don't know why people are dumb. Well, I know why they're dumb because they don't live here in the city. They don't actually exist in the city. But it's like, if you put, you know what's a crazy thought? If we put public money into public resources, wouldn't that be wild? Oh my God. It's like, yeah, nigga, if you invest in your people, they do better. Same thing of like, if you pay your employees a livable wage, they work harder for you. They show up more for you. They have more time to care about the work that they're doing in the first place. It's just like, yeah, if you invest in the art scene of the city, people do better. People love art.
Well, there's the, like, people are always like, oh, we don't have a Van Gogh. We don't have a Picasso anymore. But it's like, Van Gogh was like a paid artist. Like, that dude committed his life to art.
And also he died poor and unrecognized. And you guys only loved him after he died because thought he was cool. I think it's the same thing with stuff in the city. When we love cool stuff after it's gone, we go, oh man, that place was really neat. That person was really cool. Quasar Martin's dope as shit. If he moved to New York City tomorrow, we'd be like, oh man, remember Quasar? His work was super cool. Did you guys invest in him while he was here? No. Like, there's this whole fascination with the status of someone's name or the status of someone's imagery instead of investing in random ass people right now. Because it's the random ass niggas no one thinks is worth anything, they're the ones who are gonna be special. In my lifetime, I got rejected from 25 of the 27 schools I applied to. No school wanted me, no college wanted me. I have been told from doctors that I was going to die, that I was deaf, I could never hear or speak, that my test scores said I was stupid, even though I was going to skip 3 grades. Like, I never fit the bill on paper. One time, the director of education at Stark Neuroscience met me, because we're going to do theory for migraines at the time. He said, you are the most brilliant undergrad student I've ever met in my entire life, and one of the most brilliant students I've ever met in all my PhD programs, period. Why didn't you apply to our summer program? You would have been a great fit for it. And I said, I did. I didn't meet the GPA requirement. He said, why didn't you email us after Century when he gave it to you? I said, I did. You guys told me no exceptions to the rule. He was like, damn. And I say all this to say that, like, we never care about the worth of a person. We just care about the worth of the value of their name or of their status, or think that'll make us feel better, or think that'll make us worthy of being loved. If we just invested in regular ass people before they ever hit anything of status, like me, I always say all the time, I am just a product of people's kindness. People sometimes be like, oh, Keaun, like, man, you're so smart. You're always gonna make it out. It's like, no, nigga. People invest in me when I had no reason to. Professors paid for me to go abroad. Scholarships gave me scholarships that no one else did. Yeah. People saw this random ass kid out of pot to piss in who was shy and quiet as hell and spoke 2 times in class all year. And they said, that's a kid worth invested in before I hit any of the metrics. And that's why I'm the man I am right now. And there's a million people out there just like me who the world said they don't have value and they never invested in them. There's a million Van Goghs in the hood right now we ain't never gonna see because that side of town's too dangerous and those people can't get it right. And why put money there? We put money in Broadway instead, or Castle or Fountain Square, or all these. I'm not going to shade the neighborhoods again. It's not their fault. But why invest in these places in town no one cares about when they're poor, so we can put energy to other places? And then those people, they leave. They leave. Same reason why IU right now is facing a massive student shortage. Because they're trying to outcompete Butler and UIndy and like Notre Dame for students in Carmel. You're never going to win that fight. No one wants to go to IUI. No one wants to go to Indianapolis. People who live here want you to stay here though. You invest in them. You go to Christian Attics. You go to Northwest. You go to all the local spots we got. So we don't do that because they don't feel prestigious enough. And that's shit that pisses me off. Because people think that I'm the exception to that rule. People think when they meet me that because I'm really smart, because I have all these things I've done, because I have all these titles, whatever the fuck, because I've done so much, that like I'm different from everybody else though. They're like, well, yeah, Keaun, but like, you know, you're one of the good ones. You're the success story. You're different. It's like, no, me and Ober on the corner are the exact same. 3 years ago, if you met us both, you would both thought we was not worth shit.
I saw your ID.
Yeah, I was the nigga. And that being said, it's like, that's why every single person deserving of love as they are.
Sorry, I'm thinking about like...
I'm mad.
Well, no, you made me think about Jack Harlow. So like, you know Jack Harlow?
Yeah, he was ugly as shit as a kid and lame ass rapper.
So he's a year older than me.
Is he? He's that old? No shade.
So he's a year older than me. He went to,
School in Kentucky?
He went to a public school in Louisville, where I'm from. And I definitely knew of him at the time. And it's like, but this is a kid who got clowned on for forever.
Yeah.
He would do house shows, but he just kept going.
Yeah.
He just kept going, kept rapping and kept going, and then he finds success, and then Louisville wants to claim him.
Mm-hmm. I knew a girl,
And they do.
They do all the time. I knew a girl who went to high school with him, and she said, "Yeah, he was like lame as shit." Yeah. Everyone thought it was
like corny,
Jack Harlow.
corny white kid.
Yeah.
But then I think about like 4200 Corey. This is somebody who is extremely talented, and I think
He just sold Ujaama last night.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to go to that.
You all did.
I failed. Anyways, but I think of 4200 Corey, and like that is someone who is clearly exuding talent, but I think, and he's finding recognition, but he's not finding the recognition he deserves. And I think Indianapolis should look at someone like that and go,
I think that is a
what I'm
direct failure of the city when that happens.
he should be performing at the Pacers games, bro.
Yeah, I do. I do not blame the president for that. I blame everything fucking else. I do not blame the governor for that. I blame everything else. I blame the city for that. When you have dope talent, you invest in dope people. You refuse to do that until maybe they're either willing to A, diminish their worth for us, or B, they leave. And we go, can you please come back and make us cool thing like Mike Epps, for example. But Mike Epps, can you please do this cool thing for us because you're Mike Epps and come back, you have a big name? We never care about, there's dope people all across the city, dope talent. There is zero excuses why the mayor, sexual assault mayor, has right now cannot be like, this 4200 kid is really dope. We should make a program that helps keep local artists in Indy. Hey, 4200 Corey, we could pay you money to keep you on salary to just make music and have it be free for all across the city of Indianapolis. That's how you give the city a goddamn identity. That's how you give the city stuff people want to go see.
Yeah.
You invest in the people you got right here, right now. We're never gonna do that.
Who do you think Mayor Joe Hogstead's favorite rapper is?
I don't think the nigga cares.
I'm kidding.
I think he loves Malcolm more. No, okay,
I'm dead. There's no way.
I feel like he will say he likes Drake and Kendrick Lamar because he heard one song on the radio back in 2015. But if you showed him a picture of these two people, he could not point them out to you by faces. I think that's who Joe Hogstead likes to listen to on the radio.
You doesn't call him Aubrey. That's like his first. He's on a basis.
They're actually best friends. They go way back.
All right. Every episode, I ask a question from the previous guest. My previous guest, his name is Michael Sweater Disco McReynolds.
Shout out Michael McReynolds.
He's a DJ.
Shout out DJs.
Let's say the world's ending tomorrow,
Oh no, don't like that. Bad.
and you're at your favorite third place.
I love my favorite third place. Awesome, good.
And it's going away. I apologize, it's a little reflective. So the third place is going away. The world's ending tomorrow. What is the last song you play that's a representation of this third place? That's a good reflection of your experience there. What song are you playing to close it out?
You know, I try to think of a good song, the perfect answer. Instead, I'm gonna give you much like myself, the imperfect answer. The first song that came to mind is called "Ode to the Hood" by Ain't Afraid. Yeah, by Ain't Afraid.
Oh, Ain't Afraid.
Yeah, they're a hijabi Muslim duo, but they rap. They're really cool. And that was the first song I met, "Ode to the Hood." I remember the first line opens up. It's like, "We like our doors up in the hood, but everyone is welcome into our village." And I was trying to think of like a cooler Kendrick song or J. Cole track, and that just kept popping in my mind. I think that's it. Again, like I really do. I'm a hood baby through and through. I throw up West Side because it matters to me, and I think there's a beauty in how I live. Every part of my identity, the Black American side and Dominican side of me, because when we have so little, we share what we have, not willing to lose. And that's a core part to who I am as a person, because those who grew up around me helped raise me in that mentality. And I feel like if the world's ending tomorrow, like, it's my ode to the hood, baby. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the whole world. Because right now, we lock our doors at night. Shit gets scary around here. But everybody's welcome into our village. And in my third space, I have the privilege of being able to do that. I think that's the song I play.
Last question.
Hit me.
What question would you like to ask the next guest?
I was a really stupid joke. Let me actually like it.
Take as much time as you need.
I think the question I would want to ask the next guest. What is the most insignificant part of you Sorry, let me rephrase that. What do you think people think is the most insignificant part of you that tells the deepest story of who you actually are?
That's a hard question. The most insignificant part of me
That people think,
that other people think?
Yeah.
That tells the most about you.
Yeah. Like, for example, I think for me, something you've already said, we're like, oh, this person's super high energy, this person's all that. You're like, wait, he's actually very calm and pensive and thoughtful. I feel like people who see me when I'm on would never think about these other parts about me. I think they would think the quiet for me is insignificant because they're waiting for me to get back on, but it's actually kind of more alludes to who I actually am as a person.
I have to think about that for myself.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Sorry, I'm a writer.
It might be hard to answer in the moment too, but it's a great question.
I can think of a different one if you want.
No. I'm really trying to think about it for myself. It's like I wonder what. It also requires you to think what other people think about you.
Well, I mean, I think maybe it's just a me thing because I'm a hood nigga. But like, you kind of are always cognizant of the parts of you that people want to erase. At least for me. So I'm always cognizant of the parts that people like and the parts that people want to take and the parts that people want to like pray for me, and the parts that I think, the parts people don't care about as much, I think are actually the coolest parts about myself.
I think over time, I'm gonna answer in what the first thing that came to my head. When I was between the ages of 17 and 22, every conversation began with, "I'm a summer camp counselor. Here's a story from summer camp," and then would go on. But as I've gotten older and as more and more removed from summer camp, that is still a massive part of my personality, still a massive part of my personal development, but I don't really talk about it anymore. So I think if other people were to look at that's like not a huge part of Michael's life anymore. It's he carries around a water bottle. This is a Camp Pimingo water bottle. It's all hidden under a bunch of stickers. But if I think about the way I move through the world and the way I think about other people and the way I treat other people and the way it was a YMCA camp. So I still think about all the core values of the YMCA and the mission statement of the YMCA, which I can still rattle off because Steve Tarver, the ex-CEO of the YMCA of Greater Louisville, would always come and give $5 whoever could say it. And I was locked in. And so when I think about like what it means to what other people may perceive as a minor part of me, but it's still a part of the greater whole in a massive way. I think that's what I would say. I think that's
perfect. Like, I knew you were a camp counselor. If you told me you were, I think, it's probably some bullshit summer job. I would have never noticed that deep part of you. That just goes to show that like people are always more complex than everything they can be.
Every day, every person, every soul. Keaun Michael Brown, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for hosting me, baby. I appreciate y'all for listening. Tap in, sponsor the pod. Yeah.
He's not sponsored to say that.
I'm not sponsored to say that. But you can sponsor me. I will be a corporate show.
I won't.
I'm lying. I won't.
I do think about like, what's my number? I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know either.
I hope I find out.
I don't know. My number might just be Yasso. Like, I'm some Yasso goat curry and I'm good. Yeah.
That's funny. If you want to be found, where can the people find you?
My jacket was over my mic. That might have messed up the audio.
It should be fine.
People can find me on my Instagram page. I'm making a website, but it's not done yet. Or my LinkedIn. My Instagram page is epsilon101_. That's EPSILON 101_.
Pause. Tell the people why it's named Epsilon, because I thought it was funny.
So my Instagram page is named Epsilon101. I made it when I was like 13 or 12 or something like that. And I got Super Smash Bros. First time on the 3DS. And I wanted to go to a Smash Bros. Tournament, even though I was really bad at the game and didn't know what I was doing. And there was like a fully grown adult. And I was like, I want to be like a Greek letter. When I was in elementary school in 4th grade, I was going to skip a bunch of grades. So they took me out of the classes and did like extra work with me. For some reason, the teacher was obsessed with me knowing the Greek alphabet. So you're going to need this the rest of your life. This is going to be super important. I've never used it since. But I learned the Greek alphabet. And I was like, I want to use a cool Greek alphabet name, like Alpha, that's taken. Beta, that's taken. Gamma, that's taken. Epsilon was the next one that wasn't taken. So I made my gamer tag Epsilon. I made Instagram like 3 months later when I was 13. And I called myself Epsilon101_ because Epsilon 101 was taken. And since then, I've just never, I was going to change it because I'm a professional, A friend was like, I kind of like that it's silly and dumb and a little goofy and no one else gets it.
Just be glad you didn't
And
get
I
beta.
also got a custom-made jacket from Etsy that was a Smash Bros. Jacket for my birthday, and it with my little work check, and it said they call me Epsilon on the back of it.
Who's your main?
And it had stickers of all my mains on the side. It had Ness, Pitt, and the third one was who did I play in Smash for? Ness, Pitt, and I think it was Lucas. For my three.
Ness and Lucas are the same character, kind of.
They're real different. I don't remember who the third one was. I think it was Corrin. It was Corrin. It was Corrin. And again, this is Smash Bros. 4. It was Corrin, Ness, and Pitt on the side. And it had the Smash Bros. Logo on the hoodie. And the back said, they call me Epsilon. And everywhere my friends would be like, why do they call you Epsilon? I was like, it's lame. Don't worry about it. Because I didn't have social skills at the time.
There's like 3 people listening to the podcast who even know what you're talking about, so that's okay.
But yeah, sorry, you can follow me at Instagram. That's epsilon11_EPSILON 101_. My LinkedIn is just Keaun Michael Brown. My first name is spelled Keaun. Michael Brown's the rest. You can hit me up. I post a lot of the events I do there. I'm currently fundraising for my next art gallery. Because again, or if you know about any grants, please send them my way. I'm so poor. I'm so tired of thinking out of pocket. But the next art gallery is going to be called All the Ways That I Love You. It's a mixed media art showcase. It's a compilation of meals people's parents made instead of saying sorry. The goal is to kind of showcase all the different ways we love and feel and move and heal as people, especially in non-traditional immigrant and Black and brown households. So yeah, that's me. I'm just a dude. If you ever know any writing opportunities or art opportunities or anything cool, hit me up. If you ever want to talk, chat, you know what I mean? Like throw a little bone around, I'm always down. I don't know what that means, throw a little bone around. Just holler at me. I'm always free and available. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Sorry, total aside. When I worked at summer camp, there was a kid, I do not remember his name, but he was the type of kid who was trouble, but he was funny.
I love it.
And so he would get away with it. So like one time we were doing check-in at summer camp, and this kid just goes out. So imagine like a gravel drive. It's just a circle. Mm-hmm. He goes out into and then all the cabins are like back in the woods a little more. So he goes out in the gravel drive. These parents are rolling up, and he takes rocks and pretends to like throw dice in the. he's like squatting and pretending to throw dice, and then the vice president of the YMCA walks up. And he just saw him. He didn't say anything to me. He just saw him, and he like kept walking. And like 5 minutes later, on the radio, my boss was like, "Michael, can you tell? I do not remember that. Tell this kid to like stop pretending to throw dice, like to stop gambling in the parking lot." And I was like, I let him do it because it was hilarious. It's like, there's a lot of that stuff where it's like, oh my god, he just got away with stuff.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Third Space Indy. Thank you, Keaun Michael Brown. Not Michael Keaun Brown. What the fuck am I?
Thank you, Michael Zarick.
You can find me at Third Space Indy on Instagram or at thirdspaceindy.com, where I can't say I write it every Monday anymore because I've totally failed that the last few times, but I do write a blog about every episode and I do send it to you. So if you're interested in receiving an email, go to thirdspaceindy.com. There are show notes, there's a blog, and you can sign up for it. Thanks for watching or listening wherever you are. Thank you to cityrising.org for sponsoring the podcast. And thank you, as always, to the local artist, Jennison, for sharing your music with me and allowing me to use it as the intro music. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Peace out, yo. And one love.
We lock our doors up in the hood, but everybody's welcome to our village. I got cousins who ain't blood, cause family don't always mean my lineage. I got brothers in the game, brothers in the cage, sisters in the trenches, babies in the streets, babies running wild, children with a smile on a mission.